America, what we're about to discuss is chilling. Not once but twice, under the Secret Service's watch, Donald Trump faced assassination attempts, and each time the response was riddled with more holes than Swiss cheese. We're talking about communication breakdowns, misuse of technology, and staffing issues. It smells less like incompetence and more like conspiracy. When the agency tasked with protecting our leaders fails this spectacularly, we do have to ask, is this gross negligence, or is there something more sinister at play? Now check this out. Are you listening? In a world where even the Secret Service can't guarantee safety, you need to take matters into your own hands, and that's where CarVision X comes in. This is not just a dash cam, it is your personal road guardian. With 4K Ultra HD night vision 24/7 motion detection, it captures every detail, potentially saving you from legal nightmares and insurance battles. Recent reports show drivers with dash cams are 60% less likely to be found at fault in traffic accidents. Don't leave your safety to chance. Visit carvisionx.com now for free express shipping and exclusive bonuses. Drive smarter and drive safer with CarVision X. Okay, so we got to get into the latest information regarding all of it. I'm saying all of these assassination attempts. How crazy. Now, just one day ago, a whistleblower has come forward alleging that the second assassination attempt on Trump may have been a Secret Service inside job. This letter was sent by Josh Hawley to the acting director Rowe. My office has received new whistleblower information regarding the most recent attempt on the life of former President Donald Trump, raising troubling questions about Secret Service protocols on that day. A whistleblower with direct knowledge of Secret Service protection at former President Trump's golf course in West Palm Beach, an individual who has in fact protected President Trump at that very location, alleges there are known vulnerabilities in the fence line surrounding the course places. Offer a clear line of sight to the former president and others playing the course. As a result, the whistleblower alleges it has been Secret Service protocol to post up agents at these vulnerable spots when Trump visits the course. So the questions are being asked. Did Secret Service personnel post up at known vulnerabilities in the perimeter fencing? Did Secret Service personnel sweep the perimeter prior to the former president's arrival on the site? Did Secret Service use K-9 units or unmanned aircraft system to monitor the perimeter of the golf course? How were they used? If counter-surveillance personnel were present at the golf course on September 15th, as you stated at a recent press conference, in what manner were they deployed, and why did they not detect the gunman sooner? That guy was there for 12 hours. What was the specific counter-surveillance mitigation plan for the known vulnerabilities outside of the fence that day? So Josh Hawley issuing this letter just a day ago. Now, 3 days ago, Senator Blumenthal, I've been tracking this. I was aware of this 3 days ago, and I've been waiting for more information to come forward before I would present this to you. Now, you've probably seen this. Senator Blumenthal, who is no friend of President Trump. I mean, this guy hates President Trump to the core. And the things I've seen him say, I will never repeat here. But what he says here is eye-opening.
I think the American people are going to be shocked, astonished, and appalled by what we will report to them about the failures by the Secret Service in this assassination attempt on the former president. But I think they also ought to be appalled and astonished by the failure of the Department of Homeland Security to be more forthcoming, to be as candid and frank as it should be to them in terms of providing information. And we are going to absolutely insist on the truth and the whole truth in documents and testimony as members of the United States Senate, but also as citizens.
What did you learn new today when you said they're going to be appalled? What specifically?
I'm not going to go into what we have learned in specifics. I'm giving you my reaction, and we will have a report very, very soon that I think will absolutely shock the American people, or it should, about the lapses and lags in the protection that was afforded that day and the breakdown in communication, failure in responsibility.
Is that report coming today or tomorrow?
I'm sorry?
Is that report coming out tonight or tomorrow?
No.
Okay, so that was 3 days ago. And now we have this. Secret Service has admitted blunders in Trump assassination attempt. This is from Truth Patriot, who just posted this. The Secret Service, once revered as the epitome of protection, has become the punchline of a deadly jest. Not once but twice under their watch, Donald Trump faced assassination attempts, and each time their response was riddled with more holes than Swiss cheese. Here is what went wrong. Communications failures. Ronald Rowe Jr., acting director of Secret Service, admitted to communication breakdowns with local law enforcement, which directly impacted their response during the Butler rally. Imagine the world's most advanced security detail can't even coordinate a radio call. Misuse of technology. Despite having access to cutting-edge tech, they failed to utilize it effectively. From not securing rooftops to missing suspicious persons in plain sight, it's almost as if they were setting the stage for a failure. Staffing and coordination. Congress grilled them over understaffing and poor planning, but let's call a spade a spade. This wasn't just incompetence, it smells like conspiracy. Quotes to ponder. Ronald Rowe Jr. himself stated the Secret Service has the main responsibility of building the site plan, yet here we are with plans that look like they were drawn by someone who failed kindergarten. Conservative influencers have been vocal. Elon Musk, if the Secret Service can't protect, what are they good for? Time for a complete overhaul, or maybe, just maybe, they are part of the problem. Ben Shapiro, when the Secret Service repeatedly fails, it's not just a series of unfortunate events, it's a pattern that demands an explanation beyond mere incompetence. And the verdict? Intent to fail. Repeated mistakes, especially by an agency of this caliber, hint at something far more sinister than mere error. They were not just bystanders, they were potentially participants in these assassination attempts. A conspiracy unmasked. When you connect the dots, it's clear the Secret Service failures are so egregious, so perfectly timed, they become accomplices in the plot against Trump. Now, this is the post I'm reading, just for all the YouTube censors who are watching this right now. I'm not making this statement. I'm reading. I'm providing context. So sad I've got to do that. This is not just about political bias. It's about security, integrity, and the lives they've sworn to protect. The Secret Service repeated blunders are not just a failure of duty. They're a betrayal of trust, a conspiracy cloaked in incompetence. Let's hear what they had to say.
A phone call. The Secret Service did not give clear guidance or direction to our local law enforcement partners. There were communication deficiencies between law enforcement personnel at the site. For example, the Secret Service did not co-locate its security room with local law enforcement. There was an over-reliance on mobile devices, resulting in information being siloed. For example, at approximately 1810 local time, Secret Service informed personnel that local police were addressing an issue at the 3 o'clock of the outer perimeter. At approximately 1810 local time, via phone call, the Secret Service security room calls the counter-sniper response agent reporting an individual on the roof of the AGR building. That vital piece of information was not relayed over the Secret Service radio network.
Here's more. This is Rand Paul.
What I would caution, though, is that I sense, and you're the Secret Service, and these people are your friends, and they are heroic people who do good things, that we can't let our friendships blind us from responsibility. So someone's in charge of the security at the zone. Would the Secret Service be in charge of the entire operation, and they work with law enforcement, but they're in charge? The person in charge of the entire operation is the Secret Service, not the local police.
You're correct, sir. This is a failure of the Secret Service.
So that's what I mean. And look, I don't wish anybody harm. What I would caution,
failure
though,
of the Secret
is that
Service. Right there, full admission.
Once was
Here's more.
a failure of imagination.
A failure of imagination? Really? Okay, I can take a Google Maps satellite view of any location. And I'm not Secret Service. I'm not trained in law enforcement. I do have some security background, but I'm not stupid. I could look at a Google Maps security satellite view and create a security protocol if I know where all the points of access are. It's not rocket science. But yet here we have the Secret Service. Failure of imagination. What does that even mean?
Was a failure of imagination. A failure to imagine.
Maybe they need to go to Disney. Maybe they need to go to Epcot and go to the land of imagination. Okay, I'm sorry.
Was a failure of imagination. A failure to imagine that we actually do live in a very dangerous world where people do actually want to do harm to our protectees. I think it was a failure to challenge our own assumptions. The assumptions that we know our partners are going to do everything they can, and they do this every day. But we didn't challenge our own assumptions of, we assume that someone's going to cover that. We assume that there's going to be uniformed presence. We didn't challenge that internally during that advance.
You know what they say when you assume something? It makes an ass out of you, and it makes an ass out of me. This guy, he's just spitting out Kamala Harris word salads right here. Unreal. And here is Kayleigh McEnany. She's the former press secretary for President Trump. And she is she's going in on them.
He would have had a Senator Blumenthal said what he has learned about the happenings of Butler, Pennsylvania will leave you shocked and appalled. Those are the words of a Democratic senator. I believe that's the case. Look, we're going to hear about accountability today. That's laughable because Ronald Rowe was the deputy for Kim Cheadle, who was the head of the Secret Service during Butler, Pennsylvania. Kim Cheadle wasn't fired. Kim Cheadle got to resign and go off to wherever she's going to go, probably a great private sector job. The facts are this. Why did Donald Trump not have presidential level protection to begin with after one assassination attempt? I don't believe he did, because if he did, he would have had an emergency response team of dogs searching the bushes for people. There would have been a counter surveillance unit looking at the side streets, making sure that no one came in. And I am sick of hearing this word from Ronald Rowe. We keep hearing about a, quote, paradigm shift. During Monday's news conference, coming out of Butler, I have ordered a paradigm shift. Well, your paradigm shift allowed a guy to get 500 feet from the sitting president, or former president, I should say, with a rifle, with snacks from 1:59 a.m. to 1:31 p.m.
Oh, wow.
And today he's expected to use those same words. He's directing a paradigm shift. Well, here's the question. Does Donald J. Trump have time to wait for your paradigm shift?
Yeah.
The answer appears to be no.
But it was a failure of an imagination. They have no imagination at the Secret Service. Yeah, that's what it comes down to, my friends. So this is just the beginning. We're going to keep tracking this. You know, oftentimes I let the news kind of simmer, let the information come to the surface, and then try to make sense of it all, piecing it all together. But this is not the last time that we will hear from this, and especially with regards to this whistleblower coming forward, stating that the attempt on Trump, the second assassination attempt on Trump, may have been a Secret Service inside job. That is a terrifying thing to consider. Absolutely terrifying. But in today's day, political climate, you never know. So there you have it, folks. The Secret Service, once the gold standard of protection, now looks more like a leaky sieve. 2 assassination attempts, multiple security breaches, and a whole lot of excuses and lack of imagination. But here's the multi-million-dollar question. Is this just a series of unfortunate events? Or are we witnessing a deliberate attempt to put a former president in harm's way? What do you think? Is it time for a complete overhaul of the Secret Service? Or is there an even deeper problem here? Let us know in the comments below.